Good morning to you, Congressman. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Let's jump into this if we can. We appreciate that. You just watched this clip of legacy media put together, obviously members on the left, highly critical of the One Big Beautiful bill. What are your thoughts on that and the specific criticism that you hear about it?
Well, I always say, it's a good bill because the left hates it. And the left hates it because it doesn't empower government. It actually empowers people, empowers families. The largest tax cut in American history. That's good for moms and dads. That's good for families. Lets them spend their money on their goals and dreams. Largest investment in border security. Left doesn't like that because we saw what they did in the 4 years of the Biden administration. Let 10 million people just come into the country. So you got the largest tax cut, the largest investment in border security, resources for ICE agents, resources for detention space, resources for the wall, resources for immigration judges. And then the other two things that I think are so good is you have work requirements. If you're an able-bodied adult and you're getting taxpayer money today in our welfare system, guess what? From now on, you're going to have to work. That's a good thing for taxpayers. It's a good thing for our economy. And frankly, it's good for those individuals. And then finally, the thing I think is really important as well, we now have for the first time built into the tax code a school choice provision, which is going to give parents, moms and dads, the ability to pick where their son or daughter is going to get the best education. So, of course, the left doesn't like it. That's not big government. That's about empowering people.
But it's not just the left, though, Congressman. It's Congressman Thomas Massie, a Republican. It's Elon Musk. So there are some on that side that also don't agree.
They're not criticizing those four elements. What they're critical of is, and I understand this, is we should have cut more spending. I get that. But when you got a small majority in both the House and the Senate, it's tough to put those votes together. So, yeah, should we have cut more spending? Of course. But you got to cobble together the votes with a small majority in both House and Senate to get something passed. We were able to do that. It does take the spending curve from this kind of trajectory and bends it down some. But overall, this is still a really good piece of legislation. Could you take any one of those elements I talked about, put it as a standalone bill? You'd vote for it. Would you vote for tax cuts? Yeah. Would you vote for border security? Yeah. You would vote for those. So you put it all together. Somehow it's not good enough because it doesn't cut enough spending. Look, I get that, but I think overall this is a good piece of legislation.
And those points you mentioned, every Democrat voted against. So it's very clear the divide here we're seeing between the majority of House Republicans and senators, and then you've got the Democrats on the other side. And yet there's Elon Musk, who's interested in creating a third party. So we've got to ask you about this post on X. He shared a recent poll. He said, by a factor of 2 to 1, y'all want a new political party, and you should have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. Of course, referencing a July 4th poll where he asked his followers, who knows where, by the way, where these voters are actually from. They could be outside of the country here, but they're apparently in favor of creating this third party. How do you view it, Congressman?
Well, I get nervous every time there's a third party. You run a third party, and if they're focused on fiscal reform, I think that could hurt Republicans and actually wind up electing Democrats, which they want to spend and spend and spend and I think assault our liberties as well. I appreciate the good work Elon Musk has done, particularly when it came to protecting the First Amendment. We worked closely with him in the last Congress when we were focused on what one journalist called the censorship industrial complex, and taking that apart. We even had a letter come to our committee from Mark Zuckerberg where he talked about the fact that the Biden administration pressured us to censor. We did it. We're sorry. We're not going to do it again. And we were able to undo a lot of that and protect First Amendment free speech rights. And Elon Musk was on the forefront of that, so we appreciate that. But I get real nervous about a third party and what that means, because I think it could result in electing more Democrats. When you got 3 people running, you're taking votes from Republicans. That, I think, could be a problem.
Yeah, you think back to the 90s, Ross Perot, and what that did in that time, or any other efforts, how that could fracture the party that it most identifies with. I wanted to shift gears, if I can, to President Trump on Ukraine. He's now saying the United States needs to help Ukraine fully defend itself. Let me play this for you.
Mr. President, are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard.
And as you know, for many conservatives, this has been a controversial sticking point: to send more, to send less, to send more money, to send less. We saw the Pentagon pull back. They were examining stockpiles and holding back munitions. Now, at the president's direction, he is sending weapons and munitions. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I've been against the additional aid going to Ukraine because no one could ever tell me what the goal was. What's the objective here? Is the goal to drive Russia out of the eastern Ukraine region, the Donbass region? Is it to take back Crimea? You know, something that the Russians have held for now, I think, 11 years, and they took it during the Obama administration. So no one could ever define what the goal was and how you define victory. I think that's a problem. Whenever you get into these things, you got to know what the goal is, how you're going to get there, how you're going to measure it, and then, you know, how we're going to leave. So I get nervous about that. It sounds like the president wants to provide weapons for Ukraine to defend themselves. I guess if Ukraine's paying for that, that's one thing. I think that's probably okay. But I haven't seen the details of this proposal. And of course, President Trump sort of had the same position, I think, that we've been talking about and saying that we got to be careful about this and trying to solve it some other way. So we'll just have to see how it plays out.
All right, we'll be watching. Also, when it comes to foreign policy, we're monitoring what's happening in Israel. Of course, the Israeli prime minister is in Washington, D.C., going to be meeting with the House Speaker later today. When it comes to calm in the region, or at least seeking it, and essentially that ceasefire deal that's been proposed by the United States, that 60-day ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, do you see that happening within the next few days? Do you believe that there will be some sort of stopping of the violence?
Well, I think we all hope so. But look, I think the main thing here is we should support Israel. President Trump has been a strong supporter of the state of Israel. There's a special bond that exists between our country and that country. What President Trump did when he went in and took out the nuclear capabilities of Iran, I think is just tremendous. So, yeah, we want to support our best friend, our best ally, the state of Israel. They're the democracy in that part of the world. They're our best ally, and we have this common cultural, moral, religious, Judeo-Christian value system that we share. So let's make sure we're helping Israel, which President Trump has done. I think that's why Prime Minister Netanyahu nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize, which I think is certainly warranted.
Yeah, that was my question for you. This came as a surprise, or at least seemingly did. Control, we don't have to play the sound, but the Prime Minister surprising President Trump and really highlighting him trying to find peace and stability in not one but multiple regions, and nominating him. He pulls up the letter here. This is the moment. And again, the president seemingly caught off guard, but the prime minister obviously taking this very seriously about the president of the United States having to broker multiple peace deals in and around the world as he hands him the nominating letter here. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think President Trump certainly is deserving of that honor. I mean, you go back to his first administration, the Abraham Accords, what he was able to do, him and his team in the Middle East. You look at what he's trying to do with Ukraine and Russia. You look at this situation with what he did with Iran. There's lots of other countries in addition to Israel who appreciate that. I think Saudi Arabia and other countries appreciate taking that capability away from Iran, who was the largest state sponsor of terrorism, the evil that they represent, the leadership of that country. So I think it's entirely a warranted type of honor, and let's hope that President Trump actually gets the Nobel Peace Prize.
All right, we'll have to wait and see who would determine that, and again, if they would be supportive of the president's agenda. We know how divided not only our country is, but it seemingly so the world. Congressman Jim Jordan, thanks so much for joining us here on National Report today. We do appreciate it. All right, take care.